This is the 2025 refresh of the very popular Corsair 4000D, and we also have the original 4000D here to do some comparisons and to see if this new case is actually worth picking up. Corsair took one of their best-selling mid-tower cases of all time and really tried to make some improvements on an already pretty good case. The branding is way more subtle, the use of Corsair yellow is limited basically to just the thumb screws at this point, and the focus has shifted to modularity and airflow. However, the size of this new case is actually a bit larger than the case it's replacing. As you can see here, it's almost bigger in every dimension and actually closer in size to the slightly larger 5000D. So it makes me wonder if they're going to be releasing a refresh version of the 5000D also, and just how much bigger that case is going to be. On the front panel, we have this new 3D wide pattern airflow design, which is pretty unique and opens the case up just a little bit more for improved airflow, and the overall ventilation design follows that same pattern throughout the entire case, which really creates a more modern and refreshed look from the original. But getting right into it, we're taking a look at the new Frame 4000 series of cases, and in this lineup is the Frame 4000D Airflow with no fans coming in at $95, the Frame 4000D RS with non-RGB fans for $100, and the Frame 4000D RS ARGB with RGB fans for $110. However, this case does come in both black and white for the same price, and the option we're going to be working with today is the bare bones version with no included case fans, simply because I like to choose my own case fans. The location of the case I/O is a pretty bold decision from Corsair, with the new location being here at the bottom rather than at the top with the older version of this case. And we do also get an additional USB 3.2 Type A port with this version, as the original only had one. Another worthy mention is that Corsair is going to be selling different I/O options for this case, as this new one is removable, but there's no details or information on that just yet. I think aesthetically this case is such a dramatic improvement over the original. There are some quality changes. We can see that with the top panels here, the original 4000D had like a flimsy magnetic filter at the top. So this new panel actually being metal and an integrated piece of the case is a very welcomed improvement over the original. Corsair is also going to be selling replacement front panels for this case in different finish options as well, but again, there's no real information on the site just yet. As for removing the front panel, it just pops off with a little bit of force, revealing a really fine dust filter behind it. The dust filter has a physical retention clip, and it is also magnetized. To remove the side glass, there's just a couple of these thumb screws here, a metal tab in the center, and it only requires a minimal amount of force, and the glass just pops right out. The top panel is about the same level of effort. There's just two thumb screws, except this one has a rubber pull tab, and I really think that's a nice touch over the older pull tab that was on the original 4000D. This panel actually slides towards you to unlock it, and then the top panel just lifts right up. As for the back panel, again, just two thumb screws and it comes right off. There is also a magnetic dust filter attached to the back of this panel as well. There is one additional dust filter at the bottom of the case that just pulls right out from the front, rather than from the rear on the original 4000D. This entire front cover plate is actually removable. There's a single thumb screw on the rear of the case, and this power supply shroud cover just comes right off, revealing access to the power supply area from the front, which is a huge plus in case you need to add another cable or something to your power supply after you've built the PC, or if you just want to use this area to hide stuff in. And behind the cover plate itself, we'll see this really thin layer of plastic, which can be removed if you want some visibility into this compartment. There's also a black diffusion panel that comes in the accessory box, and this is actually where that would go. You just pull it out gently from the tab here, and you can place the black diffuser in its place, or you can choose to have neither of these and just full transparency into the compartment. As for power supply accommodation, the actual opening is about 270 millimeters wide and 68 millimeters high. You have basically enough room to squeeze in even the largest ATX power supplies on the market. And this case does have pre-installed thumb screws or captive screws for the power supply, which is super convenient As for cable management, there's not really much going on here. There seems to be an okay amount of zip tie points and a few integrated Velcro straps to keep things neat, but I'm not seeing any cable grommets or any fancy cable management accessories. But yeah, not much going on as far as cable management goes with this case. For the build I decided to do in this case, I actually wanted to go with something a little bit more reasonable, so I decided to build in the black version of this case simply because I didn't have any white components from this launch to populate the white one with. So I went with the new RTX 5070 Gaming Trio from MSI, which I think is a lot easier of a card to get, and it does match the price point of this case a little bit better. And we paired that with the Z890 Carbon Wi-Fi board from MSI, which is a pretty solid motherboard, and the case does support up to ATX motherboards, so we're well within the limits of what we can fit in this case. As for GPU accommodation, the total opening here is 430mm in length, not including any fans or radiators installed on the front bracket, so the case itself is large enough for basically any graphics card on the market currently. We also have a horizontal GPU support bracket integrated into this cover panel here, and this cover bracket is now removable, which is a major difference from the original 4000D. There's a single screw in the back holding this in place, and this bracket does come off pretty easily. The case does come with a replacement bracket in the accessories box, allowing us to mount up to 3 additional 120mm fans, or a 360mm radiator in this location instead. As for horizontal GPU support, we have 7 horizontal expansion slots that can actually be removed with just 2 thumb screws here and rotated to give us the same slots in a vertical configuration. Another major change on this case from the original is this new InfiniRail system borrowed from this case's bigger brother, the 9000D. Essentially, this is an adjustable metal fan and radiator bracket that allows you to mount different sized fans and adjust the exact spot they're mounted in. All you have to do is loosen the screws on either side of the rail and slide the bracket to the desired position for either the size of fans or radiators that you're going to be using in this case. The max capacity for the front side InfiniRail bracket is 3 120mm fans, or 2 200mm fans, and up to a 360mm radiator. This top bracket supports 3 120mm fans, 2 140mm fans, and apparently 2 160mm fans. I'm not kidding, it actually says 160mm on the spec sheet for this case, and it's actually written on the top of the case where you would mount fans to the InfiniRail bracket. So I'm not sure if Corsair's cooking up a new fan or something, but yeah, that is a thing apparently. The rear of the case supports a single 140mm fan, a single 120, and a single 120mm radiator. Overall, I think this is a pretty good case, especially for the price, and I really don't think this case is anything like the original 4000D. I do think Corsair could have done a better job at naming this case, because if I were to tell a friend to get the Corsair 4000D, that could now misdirect somebody into buying either this case or the original version. I also don't see what Corsair is claiming to be modular about this one. Being able to remove some panels doesn't necessarily make it modular. This does, however, mean that Corsair can sell you more stuff for customization, but again, we have no real information on pricing or when those modular parts are even going to be offered. On the plus side, I really do like this case, and I think it's going to be a strong seller for Corsair. This is definitely a worthy successor of the original 4000D, and if you guys are interested in checking out anything I used in this video, I'll have some links for you in the description. And as usual, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.